Hey there guys, Portal Master here. Now if you have not heard by now, Nintendo officially announced yesterday that they are delaying the release schedule of Metroid Prime 4. It was announced a while back, and there was nothing heard on Metroid Prime 4 for the longest time, and a lot of people were wondering, like, when the heck is this thing going to come out? And a lot of people were actually saying that, oh, it's probably going to be a 2020 title at this point. Well, for those of you that guessed it wouldn't come out in 2019, y'all were right, because they are officially restarting development on Metroid Prime 4. The explanation is that development was not going as they wanted it to go, and as a result they needed to restart development to make sure that it met the standards of the previous Metroid Prime games. Now, seriously, this is the best decision that Nintendo could have made, and it is it's a well-known fact that a delayed game is better than a bad game. Instead of releasing this half-broken sequel to the original Metroid Prime trilogy, this is legitimately the best thing they could have done. Now, they have announced that the new studio that will be taking over development of Metroid Prime 4 is Retro Studios, who Retro Studios is the company that designed the original Metroid Prime trilogy, and so as a result, it is going to be in the hands of the people that made the original 3 games, and that is a very intelligent decision. Now, what this doesn't answer is who was actually working on Metroid Prime 4 to start with. I don't know why Nintendo never said in the first place who was developing Metroid Prime 4, but now they're never probably going to tell us, because that would throw them under the bus for kind of ruining the development of it. And so I don't expect to really ever hear, who was originally behind Metroid Prime 4, to be honest at this point. So Retro Studios is an American company, but there's a few questions as to why they weren't called in to begin with, and this was something that they were talking about over on Spawnwave. Retro Studios has not actually published a new game since 2014, which was Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. The last thing that they've actually done was, well, they released that game, and then they were responsible for porting it over to the Nintendo Switch, and so a lot of people were wondering, why were they not called in the first place? Some people even thought that it was possible that they could have been working on Metroid Prime 4 originally, but obviously that is not the case at this point. So the question does come down to, what were they developing? And rumors seem to point towards it was a Star Fox game, and nothing's been heard about that yet, and it's assumed it's got to be done if they're actually working on Metroid Prime 4, then surely they finished up any other projects that they had. So the fact that Retro Studios is taking over this is actually great news for anyone that was hyped up for this game. However, it's really unfortunate, because this means that this game probably is going to take a very long time to develop once again. We don't know how long Metroid Prime 4 has been in development. We know that it was revealed at E3 2017. That we know for sure. However, that just confirms that development has been going on for about a year and a half at a minimum. We don't actually know, again, how long it actually has been in development. It could have been in development for 3 years at this point. We legitimately just do not know. Breath of the Wild was originally revealed, I want to say back in 2014, and they just kept, saying, oh, it's not ready, oh, it's not ready, before they finally released it alongside the Switch in 2017. It took them a long time for Breath of the Wild, but it's looking like this game might be one of the longest time periods between reveal and release, at least for Nintendo, because this is not normal for them. Breath of the Wild, they said they never wanted to announce a game that early again, pretty much. So I don't know. I feel confident that when they initially revealed Metroid Prime 4, it was probably slated for a 2019 release. But then they just kept not showing anything off, and it just kind of started to seem more and more like it'd be 2020. If I had to guess right now, I don't see how this game could be out before 2021. And even at that, we'd be talking holiday 2021 at the earliest, and I sincerely think they'll try to get it out in 2021 if they can. I think they're going to try to get it done as fast as they can while still maintaining high quality. That's the thing with Nintendo. I don't think they're going to rush this game out to try to get it out, but they're definitely going to still want it on the Switch. And the point is that once we get into 2022, which is when some people are saying this game could come out, the Switch will have been out for 5 whole years. And I know that it was recently announced, and I'll have a full video on this later, that there would not be a Switch successor anytime soon, or at least so Nintendo claims. 5 years on, that is, if there was not some type of refresh of the Switch hardware by 2022, I would be very, very shocked. So It's possible that Metroid Prime 4 could be this thing that, you know, it could potentially launch on whatever the successor to the Nintendo Switch is, in addition to the Nintendo Switch, because in a similar vein as Breath of the Wild launched on the Wii U, but also on the Nintendo Switch. I'm not saying this could definitely happen, but I am saying that by 2022, 100% guarantee you, whatever the sequel to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One will have been out, the Switch can barely compete in terms of hardware performance with those other consoles. So by then, by the time we're dealing with things like PlayStation 5s and Xbox 2s, the Switch will be severely outclassed. So Metroid Prime 4 is going to be in a very interesting position when it does release, and it would not shock me if at this point, if it is a 2022 thing, it could be a launch title for the sequel to the Nintendo Switch, assuming they don't do an actual hard refresh in the middle of the Switch's life cycle. It's going to be very interesting to follow the development, but I would say I don't expect to hear anything else on Metroid Prime 4 until 2020. I don't think we'll hear anything else this entire year about Metroid Prime 4. I don't know why I said 3. I do think this bodes well for a Metroid Prime trilogy, though, with there being now so much time until this game comes out. If we are talking holiday 2021 or even 2022, Metroid Prime Trilogy actually looks really good because there will have not been any form of Metroid content for a very, very long time if they don't release anything anytime soon. So I could see that. I could genuinely see Metroid Prime's trilogy more likely now actually due to this delay. So there is a silver lining, and I do think that that is the silver lining, but you know, in all, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Anyways, tell me what you think about this down in the comments below. I'll have another video talking about how Nintendo confirmed no Switch successor coming soon, so do stay tuned for that. But for now, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and shout out to all my patrons on Patreon, especially Cosmic Dragon Gaming, Portal Power TV, and Nacho S. See you guys next time.